First of all, our venue for our traditional wedding was the Chigwell Marquise, and was made by Kamiko Bakes, and yeah, she did a fantastic job. Okay.
Woo! Is that Mo? Wow, you look so beautiful. I'm just gonna watch you.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing great, and I promised to do 2 videos that are like, wait, baby. So I had in mind to do 2 more videos that are wedding related, and the first one is the video that you're seeing today, and that's going to be me basically listing all the vendors that made our wedding a success and give you like mini reviews here and there, and also highlight some like star vendors that you might want to consider if you're getting married in the UK as well. Thank you, baby. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I hope I don't miss out anybody. If I do, I will just link them in the description box, but I think I've pretty much written everyone down. So let's get straight into this. So first of all, our venue for our traditional wedding was the Chigwell Marquise, and we used the mini marquee, and the mini marquee takes about 100 people seated and 200 standing. So they actually advised us that, you know, what some people do is that they have more guests later on in the evening because the capacity kind of increases. We wanted an intimate wedding. Basically, the vision that we had for a wedding was that we were going to be able to turn around and see that person and that friend and that family member and that auntie and that uncle and know, you know, what part they kind of played in our story as individuals and as a couple. So that was really important to us as well. Why we chose the Chigwell Marquise was I really wanted like a marquee type feel to the wedding. I'd seen like a few weddings over the last like 2-3 years prior to our wedding, and I'd really loved just the marquee look. I wasn't really into the whole look. It felt too formal for me, whereas a marquee for me felt more like a homely vibe, felt more like family type vibe. So that's what we decided to go for. Nigo didn't really have in mind like any venue ideas, so he just kind of went with that. He was actually the one that found the venue, which was really, really awesome. I'd say the only thing about the venue is that they insist on using their own sound system. So if you have a DJ, if you have a live band, there might be some issues there, especially if the live band or the DJ's never been to that venue before and they don't know whether the stuff they're using is compatible. We got those that were doing like music to get in contact with the venue in advance. It was just that our live band didn't contact them in time, so there was an issue there. But just make sure that if you are going for the Chigwell Marquise, really nicely priced, really beautiful venue, really amazing stuff, but just bear in mind that the sound is something that you need to sort out before the day. And then also they're quite strict on catering. So I believe it's just because of like food poisoning and, you know, licensing and all of those kind of things. We couldn't just hire just any caterer. We had to hire a caterer that had the specific licensing for X amount of people within a venue. So that was another thing. But yeah, really beautiful venue, amazing stuff. And then let's go on to the Alagas, or the MCs for the day. In the Yoruba tribe, the spokesperson of the MC is called an Alaga. An Alaga is literally a chairperson, the person that represents the families. And because it was a mixed wedding, we had an MC or a spokesperson on Nigo's side, and in Nigo's culture they call that person a negotiator. So that person was one of his uncles, Hungwe. And then on the bride's side, my side, we hired an Alaga. We hired a fantastic lady. Her name is Yinka Alaga, but on Instagram she still goes by her old brand name, which is Abitos Engagement. That's the lady we went with, and yeah, she was really, 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 really amazing. You know, she brought the vibes, the banter, the jokes, and I think one reason why we chose her especially was because both families are Christian. Didn't really want those Alagas that make like vulgar jokes. We just wanted it to be about the union and getting married in the presence of God and our family. So we wanted that kind of Christian ethos, morals attached to the style of Alagaing that she was doing. I don't know whether that makes sense. So she really fantastically did that, which was really, really awesome. Yes, I already mentioned on the groom side we had Hungwe, and they worked really nicely together because, you know, there's slight differences in the culture in a sense of, you know, there's a bridal list. In a lot of African cultures during weddings, the bride's family will ask the groom's family to bring a list of items, right? And in the Shona culture, Shona Zimbabwe culture, they do a whole ceremony for that. They do the lobola. So it's kind of like the bride is in a room somewhere and then the families negotiate the bride price and all of that. So that happens on what you would call the traditional wedding in Zimbabwean culture. However, in our culture, we do the negotiations before, in the sense of the family sends out the list before and the bride price and everything like that, and they bring it on the day. In that sense, the negotiations kind of happen behind the scenes where like my parents sent them a list and then they kind of gathered that together and he presented it to my family on the day. So there was that kind of clash in how the traditions go, but then we kind of merged it together. I hope that kind of makes sense. So I say all that to say that Auntie Yinka and Hungwe really worked well together to kind of bring that part of both traditions to life.
Where are you coming from and where are you going? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've flown all the way from Zimbabwe.
Wow! You've traveled all the way.
All the way from Zimbabwe.
Wow, welcome! Oh, wow.
And we are looking for a very, very special family.
Okay.
Not Kano State or Damawa or the River State. This one is Ekiti.
Wow.
Yes.
There are so many halls in this place. So I'm thinking maybe you're looking for the other hall.
No, it's this one.
Okay, let me go and ask my family.
Let's go on to food. So, like I said, we had a mixed traditional wedding, myself being Nigerian Yoruba and Nigo being Zimbabwean Shona. So we had both a Nigerian and a Zimbabwean caterer. The Zimbabwean caterer is a company headed by a lady called Brenda, and it's called King's Catering. And then the Nigerian catering company is headed by a lady called Buki, and her company is called Sweet Fingers Catering. And I didn't actually get to see both of them in action on the day because, as you can imagine, I was being the bride and Nigo was being the groom. So we're busy with all that, but the food tasted fantastic. And if you guys kind of watched Journeys Forever, I went to taste Auntie Buki's food prior. I didn't get to taste Brenda's food in advance. I think just timing and logistics just didn't work out. But both caterers' food tasted fantastic. Both of them arrived on time, and it was nothing but good feedback from our guests for both of them. Very professional. And a lot of people have kind of asked as well, what was the budget for food and things like that. I'm also going to do a Q&A, so I'm going to break down things like, or give a rough estimate range of like for budgeting for these things. But in this video, it's just basically listing out who was who. And I guess it's really important to say as well, I think both caterers kind of worked well together in a sense of both had bits that were missing in what we kind of expected from a catering service. So for example, on Brenda's side, we had to pay extra for servers, and on Buki's side, we had to pay extra for plates and cutlery. Her terms and conditions state that she doesn't provide plates and cutlery, so we actually had to pay for extra plates and cutlery from Brenda. So it kind of worked out nicely in the sense of what they were both missing, they complemented each other. So Auntie Buki's ones came with servers, so we didn't have to pay extra for that, but we had to pay for extra servers on Brenda's side, but then we had to pay for extra plates and cutlery to cover Auntie Buki's side. So that's another thing to kind of watch out for with caterers. Make sure that you're finding out what you're paying for. Does it cover servers? Does it cover plates and cutlery? Because it's also important as well. Let's go on to the media side of things. Now, I actually run a production company myself, New Media Productions, get to know. So our videographer was a friend of ours. His name is Daniel, and you can find his stuff at DB Captures. Initially, we were going to have our wedding on one day. We're going to have a church ceremony in the morning, trad in the afternoon, and then reception stroke after party in the evening. And, you know, closer to the wedding, we had to split the days into two. So Daniel was one of those vendors that was able to split his hours into 2 days. So I think he did like 10 official hours on the trad day, and of course he's a friend, so he stayed a bit longer. And then he did 2 hours for the church ceremony. Our photographer was Jessie Conado Photography. She was one of my favorite vendors in a sense of so professional. Did a consultation with us from the beginning, letting us know what to expect, enabled us to ask questions, give our preferences. And, you know, she's in the process of making our wedding album as well, which is really, really fantastic. And then we had Toby who freelances, and he also freelances with my production company, and Media Productions. So he stepped in and did the church ceremony because Jessie wasn't actually available. She was booked already for the Saturday after. So the trad was on the Thursday and the church was on a Saturday. So Toby stepped in for that. We had a DJ, Uncle K, who was really, really fantastic. Now, Uncle K was one that he wasn't actually meant to start playing until like 4 p.m. But we had some issues with our live band. I don't know whether there was miscommunications of the timings of the wedding, because I didn't actually book him. It was my mom that booked the live band. We've been trying to get on the phone for ages, and it was literally the night before the wedding. Although I'd already sent the itinerary that says the wedding was to start at 12, you know, when I got on the phone and I told him, all vendors will need to be there by like 11 so they can set up and everything, he was like, huh? So he was really like confused, and he said, you know, he would try and make it for 1 p.m. So I was like, okay, this is not gonna work. So I was like to Nigo, please call Uncle K and see if he can come and set up earlier so that we have at least somebody playing music. So Uncle K really stepped in. His service itself, like, he went above and beyond, of course, doing the extra time. And then like there was a time when the mic wasn't working, he was going behind the scenes, like helping to sort that out. And the dance floor was literally shaking the entire night. Like he really set the mood nicely for the different parts of the event. So Uncle K is a really fantastic DJ. If you're looking for a DJ, definitely go with him. And then our live band was Dia Ojo and his crew. He's someone that, you know, has been playing in a lot of our family events for a while. But with him and my mom, they know each other quite well now. So that was our live band. I'll talk about it more in the budget, but I guess it's a good one to note that we did like search around for other live bands as well. Like I really wanted Solek because I'd seen him at events, like loads of different events. So which one was it? Faji Sundays. I've seen him play there, and I love the fact that he does a lot of like modern songs and whatever it may be. But I don't know whether this is a thing in the live band industry, but definitely for Solek, he charges a bit more when it's a mixed wedding. And I think the sentiment behind that is that apparently when it's a mixed wedding, mixed cultures wedding, you don't get to play as much, so they don't walk in power, you know, when people spray the live band, so they don't make as much, which I thought was a bit weird. But yeah, DLJ did a fantastic job as well. Like he's older in the industry. He's very good at like gospel, but he's also very good at like doing renditions of like modern, young, popular songs as well. So he's one that shouldn't be slept on in the live band game. Our cakes, our cakes were fantastic. Like we had 2 cakes and both were works of art. We had the traditional cake, which was like, I think it was like 2 levels, and then it had like myself and Nigo, obviously not literally us, but like what do you call it? how do you call this, sculpture, like mini sculptures of us in our traditional outfits, and we were like on a suitcase, and it was such a beautiful cake, and it tasted amazing. And that was by a lady called Mrs. Ogun, and my mom was a person that booked this lady, and all she gave me as contact details was her number. I'll put it in the description, but I won't put it on the screen just in case she doesn't really want her number on the internet. You know what I mean, guys? But yeah, she made the traditional cake, and if for some reason I have to remove from the description, just DM me and I'll send you her number. And then the more Western or white wedding cake that we had was made by Kamiko Bakes, and yeah, she did a fantastic job. She's one that went above and beyond as well, arrived on time, and she also gave us like a knife set. Like I was like, like, so that's just something you forget when you're like planning your wedding and arriving at a venue. I didn't think to get a knife set. She put a knife set with like the thing that you used to serve it as well. So thank you so much for that, Maria. So she was really fantastic, and really great prices as well. We had some wedding coordinators. Their names were Samira and Itai, and they're actually friends of mine. I remember both of them kind of calling me and saying, is there anything that you wanted help with? And I said, actually, yeah, we need someone to coordinate on the day, kind of getting people to their tables, you know, and just helping the wedding kind of be organized. And they both did that. And you know, I didn't hire them officially, they did that as a favor, but I think it's really important to have like coordinators on the day as well. The person that did the Gele was Sade Gele Artistry, and I realized after editing and uploading the wedding vlog that I was saying her at wrong, and it's actually Sade Gele Artistry, not Sade Gele. So yeah, she was a really, really sweet lady, like really helping me with like my strap throughout the day. Like she's amazing. She's definitely one that I would call a star vendor. And of course, you saw how she prayed over me while she was doing the Gele, and apparently that's something she does with all her brides, which I think is really beautiful. Like, I'm a Christian, quite a spiritual person, and I love that element to her service. I would say I would give an advice if you are a bride and you have a bridal party of over like 6, I would advise to get 2 Gele Ladies, and depending on how much time you give yourselves to get ready in the morning, if you have plenty of time, 1 Gele Lady might be fine. But if you have like a short amount of time, I would say that we had quite like it wasn't too short, it wasn't too long. I would have, looking back, probably wanted 2 Gele Ladies instead, so just bear that in mind. Maybe one for the bride and the chief bridesmaids, and then another one for the rest of the bridesmaids, just whichever way it kind of works for you, just so you guys can kind of save on time and you're not clashing too much in the morning time wise. Makeup artist for the trad, we had my beautiful Deji Rachel. Like, she's my sister, been working with me for a while, done a lot of shoots for me with like my content, and she also did my wedding, and she did a fantastic job. And she is someone that she's just a server. Like, she has a servant's heart. Like, I remember she said to me, Amo, anything you need, just see me as an extra bridesmaid today. And I was just like, girl, like, she's really, really sweet, and she did a fantastic job. She was one that I really wanted to, you know, when we split the days into 2, I really hoped that she would have been able to do my makeup on the Saturday, but she wasn't available. So, and another amazing makeup artist stepped in, Arike Artistry, and I'm usually worried when someone does my face for the first time, because I have quite strong features, and I have the kind of face that if you overemphasize those features, you're going to ruin everything basically. And I found that in my journey so far, when I'm working with a lot of makeup artists, that's what they do. They get overexcited and they start, you know, over thickening my eyebrows and, you know, putting too much highlight, and soft glam really suits me a lot. So when Arike got my makeup for the first time, bang, 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 I was really, really happy. She did a fantastic job. Hair, my beautiful sister, as in this is actually my blood sister, Sophie. She's actually a hairdresser, and I remember I saw a few comments where people were saying, I can't believe your sister did your hair. She's actually a hairstylist, guys, and her @ is CB Hair UK. So she worked overtime for this wedding, and I'm not just saying that because she's my sister, but Sophie really worked hard. She did 2 hairstyles for me on the trad today. So she blew up my hair and did like a bun for my head tie to go around, for my gele to go around, and then in the evening she did like a slick back pony for me. And I don't don't usually wear ponies because I'm just not a fan of like washing out gel and all of that, but she did a really fantastic job with, like, she slicked that pony, and she didn't have much time. She had like 30 minutes to get that hair done because there was a transition from the trad to the reception, so like she was working under pressure. I didn't even realize. She told me that she was shaking after, but she did a really great job. And then for the white wedding, you saw that beautiful Bantu knot out hairstyle that she did for me, and yeah, she did an amazing job. But I remember at one point I was looking for hairstylists, and I was like, wait, Sophie, although she hadn't done like bridal, so I think that's why I didn't really think about her initially, but she really handled my hair well. And because I am an Afro hair enthusiast, I know we call it natural hair, and that's why I call it natural hair too, so people know what I'm talking about. But I'm an Afrocentric enthusiast. I like to look like myself, look like my heritage, where I'm from, and she captured that really well with all the hairstyles that we did. I really wanted to see texture. That was what I told her, and she did that really well. After the white wedding, we had like a dinner. We didn't have official catering. However, myself and Nigo both have caterers in our families, so they basically handled the food, as well as other family members that kind of just cooked. It was like a lovely cookout. So we had Nigo's auntie Maggie on his side doing Zim food, and then we had my auntie Tony doing like a lot of the Nigerian cuisine. And I remember on this day as well, there were other family members that chipped in, because obviously it was an extra day that we didn't anticipate, nor did we budget for. And I remember one of my uncles sent money from Nigeria, so my mom could just buy all the drinks, and it was just, we were so blessed throughout this whole wedding process, and I think that's really important to mention as well. And now for the outfits. So our traditional outfit was by Bims, and you guys, if you've been watching the Journey to Forever vlogs, you know that that was a journey and a half in itself. And then my reception outfit was by Honey Made Couture. Really beautiful dress, amazing service. I cannot stress enough how professional this lady is. And I believe Nigo suits were from Moss Bros, and they were just really nicely, fantastically tailored. And gifts just came. That's the one basket. It's a bit dark in the corridor, but that's the other two baskets. And then we've got an acceptance letter as well in there. Gorgeous. Now I've left Decor last, or is it last? Yeah, I've left Decor last because it's like, it's a bit jumbled. It was basically what I would like to call joint effort. So we did have an official decorator, and they were First Impressions Limited, and they actually have a connection with Chigwell Marquise. So if you go with Chigwell Marquise, it's a good idea to go with First Impressions Limited because you get like a 10% discount, which is really fantastic. And they did the stage design, so the stage that myself and Nigo were sat on. They did the table centerpieces and tablecloths. Now other decorations were then outsourced from other companies. So we had a dance floor sourced from Signature Event Print, and they're on Etsy. It was actually my friend Samira that liaised with them and also came early on the day to lay it down. You see Samira, yeah, she did a lot for me. Like, the reason why we outsourced the dance floor is that the dance floor that First Impressions offers is like an LED dance floor, but we really wanted a seamless dance floor with like our hashtag, the date of our wedding, and like a lovely design. Even though they had an LED dance floor, we didn't want that, and then it was a bit overpriced in comparison to the seamless dance floors that we were finding online. So we decided to go for the seamless dance floor. It just made sense. And then I actually went and purchased some charger plates from Alibaba, and this is actually a little business that I'm doing, guys. So if you're running any events, I have 100 charger plates that you can rent for your event. So I bought that from Alibaba. And then we also had like menus and pre-folded napkins as part of the decor. The menus were designed by myself and one of my bridesmaids, Oyin, on Canva, and then we printed them at moo.com. So that's a really great company to kind of print menus, any leaflets attached to your wedding. And then the pre-folded napkins was where we now placed the menus inside, and we got that from Amazon. I'll link that in the description. And then we also got like disposable wine glasses. So we were exploring like hiring glassware, but then we didn't want to risk them breaking and then having to pay extra on top of the higher fee. So we searched through like Costco. We found some plastic wine glasses that look like it's glass. So that's what we used, and it looked really fantastic. I'll link that in the description as well. We also had like disposable cups and napkins. We just got them from Costco as well. So yeah, that's why I say the decor was a joint effort, because they did the stage design and the table centerpieces and the tablecloths. In fact, the centerpieces that they gave us were not the ones that we booked. They gave us even better ones than we booked. I remember on the day that we went to like their showroom, and then I saw the trees and I was like, oh my gosh, they're really beautiful, but they were out of budget. So we went for like a more modest centerpiece to fit the budget. And then I think it was like 2 days before, they were like, oh, like we'll give you the trees like at no extra cost. So that was really like favor. I was really happy to hear that. However, I wish, you know, because we did message them, could they lay down the menus, the charger plates and the napkins, but they declined. I wish they did that, but that's why we had that rush the night before where we had to go and lay that down ourselves. But apart from that, really fantastic company. And those were our vendors, guys. If you are interested in costs, because that was a baby.
No, I'm studio audience.
Thank you.
I'm not your husband right now, I'm studio audience.
Okay.
Woo! Is that moon?
If you're interested in like costs, because that's a question that came out a lot when I put the question bubble on Instagram, watch the Q&A video, and that's going to be the next one up. But if you like this video, make sure you liked it, share it with your friends, comment on the things I spoke about, and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time, guys, peace and love, peace and chunks.